Good morning, students. So today we are going to discuss the heart of this chapter, which is called the town planning at the Indus Valley civilization. As you can see this picture here in your textbook, page 5. So we are going to discuss every aspect of the town planning of the Indus Valley people, and we'll realize that it was so spectacular, the town planning, the drainage system and whatnot, how they constructed the houses, what was the planning, the types of bricks they used, the mobilization of labor and things like that. And we'll see it was really remarkable and one of the most unique feature of the Indus Valley civilization. So without wasting time, let's start. Now here I have the summary of the town planning, and this, as I said, is the heart of the chapter and it's very, very crucial for your board exams, depending on the types of question asked, whether it's for an objective, whether it's for a 3 marks question or whether it's for an 8 marks question. So let's start. Now, Mohenjo-daro, town planning. So we'll discuss about the town planning. Okay. It is known as the most spectacular and the most unique feature of the Indus Valley civilization. That is, the town planning was the most unique feature of the Indus Valley civilization. There are many features, but the town planning was the most effective and the most unique. Okay. Now, the town planning can be categorized into 2 sections, as you can see here. Okay. One was smaller but higher, and the other was much larger but lower. Now, let me explain this with the help of this small example. Now, one part of the town is smaller, but it is higher. That means it is built in a higher platform. Okay. It is higher. Okay. The other one is large. It's very large, but it is lower. That means it is built in the lower level. This is inhabited by majority of the population, that is the common people, by the masses. Okay, the lower town. The citadel, the part of the town which was built on the higher platform, was smaller. It was known as the citadel. Okay, this part of the town was used for the special purpose. The common man did not have access to the citadel. They could not enter the citadel anytime they wanted. They would go to the citadel only on the special occasions and for some special purposes. Now, both the citadel and the lower town were walled and separated from each other. They were walled and they were separated from each other. I'll repeat once again. The town planning of the Indus people was divided into 2 sections. The citadel, which was smaller but higher. The lower town, which was larger but lower. It is built in the lower platform. I hope that much is clear. Okay, majority of the masses inhabited in the lower town. And this was not just a case about Mohenjo-daro. It was unique all over the sites of the Indus Valley. The town planning was common. Okay, so moving ahead. Now, the citadel. What is the citadel? I'll repeat once again. It was built on the mud brick platforms. It was walled, as I said. It was walled and separated from the lower town. It is walled. It is walled and separated from the lower town. That means people did not have access anytime they wanted. Okay. Then, it was used for special purposes. Okay, that is the citadel. Now, what is the lower town? Now, this is very, very interesting and very important. Now, lower town. It was walled, as I told you. It was walled and separated from the citadel. Okay. Now, several buildings were made on the platform that served as foundations. Several buildings could be seen, and it has been excavated also by the archaeologist. Okay. So, it was a hub of the mob. The common man inhabited this place. Now, as the extent of the Indus Valley civilization was huge and people inhabited this place, so a huge labor was required for the construction work. So there was high mobilization of labor in this place. Okay. Settlement was first planned and then implemented. The Indus Valley people were very good in planning. They planned out everything and then they implemented it. They were very good planners. They planned and exactly they got what they wanted. Okay, they were very good in their town planning, and after planning they implemented, and we'll see better examples coming up in the upcoming topics also. Now, this is something very unique and amazing. Bricks were used in buildings were of uniform size. The first thing here is that they used bricks, okay, in the construction. And the most important thing is that across the civilization, whichever site it might be, whether it's Harappa, okay, whether it's Mohenjo-daro, whether it's Dholavira, whether it's Nageswar, whether it's Lothal, whether it's Kalibangan, or whether it's Banwali, the size of the brick was uniform. It was of common size. So uniform bricks were used for construction. Bricks used in buildings were of uniform size. Now, roads and streets in Lower Town were laid out in a grid pattern. The roads were laid out in the grid pattern, okay? And they intersected each other in the right angles. The roads in the streets were broad and they were made in the grid pattern, and they were intersecting each other in the right angles. Okay. Now this is also very interesting. Streets and drains were first laid, and then houses were built on the same pattern. Now they would lay down the streets, for example, and the drains from which all the dirty waste of the houses, domestic waste, would flow, and the streets, and across this they would make the houses. They would construct the houses on both sides of the roads. So they were very good planners. Okay. Now, streets and drains were first laid, and then houses were built on the same pattern. Now, Lower Town of Mohenjo-daro provides examples of residential buildings. There were lots of residential buildings. As I told you, it was the hub of the common man. The common people inhabited the Lower Town. So there were many traces of residential public buildings also. Now, let's see. Most of these were centered on a courtyard with rooms on all sides. Now, till today, students, if you go to North India, you will see the houses are constructed. If you go to the rural setup, you will see, like, now for example, this is the center. This is the center or the courtyard of a house, and it is walled from all sides. Okay, it is walled, and here you have the common entrance. Okay, and this is the courtyard. There are rooms on both sides here. There are rooms, and this is the courtyard. The activities take place here, which we are going to discuss. Okay, now as I told you, most of these were constructed on a courtyard with rooms on all sides. There were rooms, as I told you. There were rooms. This is the courtyard. This is the domestic architecture. Okay, this is the main entrance. This is the courtyard, and there are the rooms on all sides. It is also walled. Okay, it is also walled. Now, different activities like cooking, weaving, etc. were carried out in the courtyard during hot and dry seasons. Now, all activities, major activities took place in this courtyard, like weaving, cooking, drying. Ladies particularly, they would dry chili. If you go to Rajasthan and states like Gujarat and Punjab, you will see the courtyard is a very important center of their daily activities, especially in the hot and dry seasons. Okay, now I'm coming to a very, very interesting portion that is called the concern for privacy. The Indus Valley people were very much concerned of their privacy. All of us, we are very much concerned of our own privacy, isn't it? All of us, we would like to have our own rooms, and there would be doors and curtains and whatnot. So Indus people also they were very much concerned about their privacy. They did not like to be disturbed. They did not want everyone to have access to their private life. So what did they do? Now this is very, very interesting, and this question is asked in the board also. What were the steps taken by the Indus Valley people to protect their privacy, or what were the privacy concerns of the Indus Valley people? So you will answer it this way. Now, no windows were there along the wall on the ground floor. Now, for example, there were two-story buildings in the Lower Town. This has been excavated and discovered. Okay. Now, in the ground floor, there were two-story buildings, as I said. In the ground floor along the wall, you will not find any windows. Now, for example, this is a window. So there would be no window in the ground floor. There would be no window in the ground floor. No windows along the wall on the ground floor. Okay. Then, main entrance did not provide view of courtyard and interior. Now, if you are standing, now suppose this is the, as I told you, this is the structure. This is the courtyard. This is the main entrance. Now, if someone stood up here in the courtyard, in the main entrance, he will not get a direct view of what is going around. He will not get a direct view of the rooms here. The only thing which will be visible to this person, if he's standing at the main entrance, would be the courtyard. So this, the domestic architecture was planned in such a manner that a person standing at the main entrance will not get a direct view to the rooms or to what is going on here. What he can see is the courtyard and the activities at the most. So they were very much concerned about the privacy. As I told you, there were no windows. There were no windows along the ground floor, and there was no direct view to the courtyard, to the rooms from the main entrance. The courtyard would be visible first, or at the most you had to enter the courtyard to have a look at the rooms here. So they were very much concerned about their privacy. Now, provisions of bathrooms were also there in every houses, so they would do their cleaning and whatever in the bathrooms. So they were very much concerned in the thousands of years ago. Thousands of years ago, the Indus Valley civilization flourished, and they're very much concerned about their privacy. Now, other facts revealed after excavations prove that traces of staircase have been found leading to the second story or the roof. Now, as I told you, there were two-story buildings, so there were traces of staircase. Stairs were excavated. Traces of stairs have been found. Maybe the buildings have been ruined over thousands of years, but traces of stairs were discovered. The traces of stairs were discovered, which gave people an access to reach to the second story or to the roof. Okay. Then, traces of wells have also been found, which were reachable from outside by passers-by. Now, this is also a very good example of privacy concern. Now, for example, the wells were located somewhere. If this is the main entrance and if this is the domestic architecture, now the wells would be somewhere here, or maybe there would be a room where the well is there. The provision of well has been laid. Now, any passerby who is passing from here, if he's thirsty or he needs water, he would easily have an access to the water from the well. Now, he didn't have to enter all the way to the courtyard searching water. There would be provision of water in the well, and the passerby would have an easy access to the water in the well. Okay, so I'll repeat once again. Traces of wells have been found which were reachable from outside by passerby and people moving around. Okay, and the most interesting thing is that around 700 wells have been excavated and discovered by the archaeologists in Mohenjo-daro itself. In Mohenjo-daro, the archaeologists have discovered 700 wells. So the question is, just imagine, if 700 wells were discovered in Mohenjo-daro, there are so many sites across the Indus Valley. So just imagine what would be the extent of wells which these people used, because the town planning was almost same throughout the civilization. So that's what is the town planning all about. There is another aspect of town planning, which is the drainage system. As you can see here, and the Great Bath. And the Great Bath, which we will be discussing tomorrow. Any doubt? Feel free to ask questions and prepare well enough with this topic. Be familiar, be well acquainted, and practice. Have a nice day. Thank you so much.